Yes. Hello, friends. Good evening. It gives me immense pleasure today to introduce this gentleman here. He is a doctor, entrepreneur, the most humble person I have known and I've seen his journey. He started with MBBS, then did his master's. Then he was teaching in tutorials in multi-purpose classes, which is at Andheri East. From there, he was sitting in other doctor's clinic as a rental space, and I have seen him from there roaming around from bike to convert himself and his hospital. 20-bedded hospital is what he started with Juhu CritiCare, and today he has 200 beds hospital, and he's doing so much of social work for TB patients, and dialysis also is going on in his hospital. The most humble person, and who has changed the context of the health industry. Welcome, Dr. Deepak Namjoshi, on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Makes you feel nice.
Yes, you are doing an amazing job, Deepak. I want to know your journey. How did you, like all doctors cannot be entrepreneurs, it's been a service industry. So, how to make this service industry into this? How did that idea and thought come to you?
See, it was a gradual learning curve. To give you a basic background, I did not come anywhere close to being an entrepreneur. Okay, I come from a very simple middle class Indian family. My father used to work in a bank as a stenographer. My mother used to work for the state government as a clerk. Okay, both of them had done their education up till the 10th grade. Okay, but very supportive of their children. I have an elder sister and me. So right from the beginning, I understood education is where I'm going to head, because out of extracurricular activities and studies, it was a no-brainer for me because I was always excelling in my education. Okay, right from the kindergarten class till my postgraduate master's exams, I had always topped. Okay, so I got a gold medal in my MD exam. Right from schooling, I only got the numero uno rank. So it was always sort of destined for me that I'm going to go into some kind of high level of education. Now, initially, the enthusiasm was towards doing engineering, because during those days, everybody who was intelligent either did engineering or did medicine. So engineering at that time looked very exciting, especially going to the IIT and then traveling abroad, especially to the US, and making a future for yourself in the US seemed to be what majority of the youth at that time thought about. So that was the vision with which I also entered college, went to Ruparel, which was one of the topmost colleges at that time. But somewhere in Ruparel, while interacting with peers, I gradually my focus shifted from engineering to medicine, and I started thinking, okay, I'm not sure whether I want to travel abroad to make a future for myself. The country has given me so much. I would be quite happy living with my countrymen, with my family. I'm the only son. So parents did not in any way pressurize me towards staying back, but I felt it. Okay, I had to be with my parents. I had an old grandfather. So all that motivated me to change tracks from engineering to come to medicine. And then there was no looking back. Medicine always, I felt, gives you a more opportunity apart from earning your living to do something for the society, giving it back to the society in some format. When a doctor is working at 2 o'clock in the night, it's not only money which he is looking at, it's service which he is giving. Not many people are ready to pick up their phones at 2 o'clock in the night and listen to people who have problems and try and sort out solutions for them. So over there, that goes beyond money. You're not paid for taking that call at 2 o'clock in the night or 4 o'clock in the night, or if you're in a movie to attend to a call. I'm not sure whether Australian doctors do that, but Indian doctors, yeah, definitely we keep on doing that. We are working 24 by 7. And so much so, okay, when your friends are there with you, they keep on feeling, what is this? You're constantly on the phone. So you're advising people all the time. So the thrill of doing medicine was different. So becoming a doctor was very exciting. Now, during that time also, while I was becoming a doctor, I somewhere started realizing that self-reliance is very important. So during my early college days also, I started teaching in an educational institute, in a variety of educational institute, giving lectures, trying to earn my own pocket money. Then I started realizing, if these guys can do it, why can't I? So the first entrepreneur skill came up over there, where I started an educational institute during my student days when I was studying medicine. It was called Elite Tutorials. It was a correspondence course for students of the 10th grade and the 12th grade and those preparing for IITs. Okay, so over there, gradually I got a lot of success. uh, One of the back office working today has become very common, but at that time, back office working was not very common. So Mahesh Tutorials was one of the giant educational institute at that time. Their back office working, we started doing in Elite Tutorials. We made a decent amount of money at that time. That gave me confidence during student stage. Ki yes, you can handle money, you can handle people. Because at that time we were handling 4,000 students in Elite Tutorials, courtesy Mahesh Tutorials. Yeah. So we had
Okay.
around, yeah, 400 school teachers enrolled with us who were helping us to do the paper setting, paper checking. So handling a staff of 400 when you hadn't even graduated gave you a lot of confidence. So I remember when I entered my postgraduate masters, at that time cars in India were not too many. So during those student days, I bought a Maruti 1000 with my own income. Okay, where my professors did not have that kind of a car or did not have a car at all. So the
Okay.
journey of entrepreneurship started over there. And then after coming out as a doctor, obviously as a doctor, you have to gain a lot of experience, learn things, hone your skills. So the initial journey was working in various smaller hospitals during internship as a resident doctor. Then after post graduation, I joined my first job in Lilavati Hospital as a intensivist in the ICU. Okay, so at that time, the salaries were, if you work for 8 hours, you get 8,000 rupees salary, and if you work for 12 hours shift, you get a 12,000 rupees salary. So I started with the 8 hour shift with 8,000 rupees salary, and over there I started understanding that perhaps I have enough experience in my medical school, so there was no need to keep on getting more experience. So very shortly from there, I migrated to doing a lecturer's job in a medical college, Somaya Medical College. Okay, so that made me more academically involved, teaching students. Like I started off my journey as Elite Tutorials, so teaching was something which I had gradually picked up and enjoyed. So continuing that journey in the medical college, teaching them gave a nice academic orientation to the entire process. I got to know more students, became popular among students, and then the opportunity came whereby I could start off my private practice. So initial private practice was renting polyclinic rooms in various hospitals. So I started off with a hospital in Andheri called 𝙤𝙤𝙤 Hospital, where I took a OPD slot of 2 hours in the evening, 7 to 9 p.m. And the rent at that time was 2,000 rupees to pay for that 2 hour slot. So started off practice from there. Then in Juhu, there is a hospital called Sunflower Hospital. So then I started working 5 to 7. Again, got a slot to practice in the 5 to 7 slot in Sunflower Hospital. So used to rush to Sunflower. Then as soon as it was 7 o'clock, try and reach quickly to 𝙤𝙤𝙤, try and see patients over there. So this went on for a little while. Then, through a common friend, I met a doctor whose hospital wasn't doing too well in Andheri. So, he wanted younger shoulders to run his hospital. So, that is where the opportunity came to start a 20 bedded nursing home in Andheri opposite Shopper Stop. It was the least place to start off with. The hospital started doing phenomenally well. Okay, in those 20 bed setup, gradually we were admitting even 25, 26 patients. Okay, the OPD consulting rooms were also converted into patient care rooms. The popularity of the hospital became so high. Okay, after that, there was no looking back. Within a short time, the hospital was falling very short for the type of practice I was developing. And I started hunting around for bigger spaces. So then took the Juhu CritiCare Hospital, one part of it, and made from 20 beds or 40 beds. Those 40 beds, within a year, we were short of those 40 beds because the CritiCare brand was becoming more and more popular. So bought the neighboring building, connected both, built a new building, connected both the buildings, and made a 100-bedded hospital. Within a couple of years, those 100 beds were falling short, and then went to another geography, to Andheri East. Okay, took a plot over there, built a hospital as per my requirement, added another 110 beds, and today we are 210-bed hospital and looking at more opportunities to expand. I'm sure this wouldn't be the last two. We would be looking at many
Yes,
more.
absolutely. Absolutely. This is awesome and so inspiring, Deepak. I can imagine the joy of your first Maruti 1000, which was such a big treat at that time. And then from tutorials to the Kelkar Polyclinic to Sunflower, then opposite Shop Stop, which was on lease, and then coming to your own. And today, like chain of hospitals and the way you have handled it. And I remember before 20 years, I had asked you this question and I loved this answer, that what is needed for success? Education, money, what is needed for success? Your skills. So your answer was very good. I would love our audience to know that what is it needed to be as successful as Dr. Deepak Namjoshi? XYZ, what?
The simple answer is, I think, integrity in what you are doing, and keeping the basics right. See, as you climb up, you should not forget your basics. I think that is what has made CritiCare into a brand. We have never lost touch with the ground level, with the grassroots level. And today, I still identify with all my peers, with all my patients. I keep on telling, right from the panwala to Amitabh Bachchan, everybody accesses me, and I do not differentiate between them. Even the panwala gets my equal attention. Even if he calls me up 2 o'clock in the night, I attend his phone call. So I think being genuinely dedicated to what you do is gradually what brings success. The other thing which I would like to state is, whatever my journey, there are many who have had much better journeys. But the only thing what I would like to say is, till now our parents have been after us to get educated. But in real life, we have had limited examples of educated people doing too well. Okay? They ultimately become highly paid employees, but entrepreneurship is relatively lacking amongst the well-educated. There would be a few exceptions of technology company heads and all who have started technology companies and all, but majority of the times it's relatively the averagely educated who have been very good in business. So over here, this journey has been of a middle class boy with no godfathers, no connections, and just a simple aptitude to work properly. And dedication to work has led to dreams coming true. I wouldn't even say dreams come true. I never had these big dreams. Okay? I used to stay in a one-bedroom hall kitchen, and my parents and me used to dream of a two-bedroom apartment. And the biggest dream we had was a three-bedroom apartment with a L-shaped living room. Like, that was the ultimate dream we had. So we didn't dream this big also.
Wow. But Deepak, I have seen that. Like you have not only helped the patients unconditionally, but I have known so many doctors personally that when they started their career, you offered your polyclinic and hospital absolutely free to them and told them, okay, when you make money, give me. Like I know, abundance of people whom you have supported, and I have heard so much about you. So what you said is perfectly right, that you have kept your groundedness, kept in touch with the grassroots level. What else is needed to be successful and to dream big?
See, I think
Hmm. Yeah, I think we have lost Deepak. Can you all see him? So, friends, Dr. Deepak Namjoshi has not only had the best hospital, but he's given the best treatment. And even if you go cashless or if you don't have money, he's never asked for deposit. He has first treated the patients, and he's always made sure that he gives extraordinary customer service to all his patients. And he has personally attended those patients, and he takes round, and he's not only dependent on all the doctors, but he himself visits at least different hospital twice a week, thrice a week, to make sure that his hospital, everything is running with his values and integrities. Dr. Deepak, we had lost you. I thought, where did you go?
I got a call from the hospital. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Yes, doctor. So, what are the obstacles that came in your way in your journey? I'm sure you would have major challenges with this major accomplishment. What was the most important challenge which you faced, and you would like our viewers to take care of that when they are in their growth journey?
See, one of the biggest challenge always is money. So I remember when I wanted to buy a hospital of my own, at that time it was going to cost me perhaps a little over $1 million. This was around 21 years ago. So at that time it was a lot of money. Okay, and I was going from one bank to the another, trying to explain to them that though currently I'm running a rented nursing home, I would be able to buy, manage, run a setup of my own. So at that time, I was a 29-year-old doctor, okay, with perhaps 2 years of filing my income tax returns. So none of the banks could really believe they could lend me $1 million and I would be able to repay back their loan. So ultimately, one of the cooperative banks somehow understood what I was trying to tell them, and they said, "Okay, we'll give you a part of the money, and then let's see your performance, and then we'll keep on releasing more money for you." So then I requested the owner from where I was buying from whom I was buying the hospital, where the bank is giving me a guarantee, but your money would come in pieces. I would fulfill my commitment in a short duration, but I need to show performance. So that person
Wow.
also agreed. Okay, and then the journey started. But the biggest challenge was obviously getting the money in place. And the other biggest challenge is always labor. Labor laws are complicated. So I remember when we were shifting from a 20-bedded nursing home to a hospital of my own, we decided to take staff on contract. Previously, we did not have any kind of a legal arrangement with them. They were working, we were paying. So over there at that time, the lawyers said, "Okay, now you are starting in a more organized manner. So you should legally look into all the labor issues." So we decided to do contracts with our employees. The employees somehow, in spite of a lot of counseling, did not feel secure. Okay, they were being converted to contract employees, and they decided to form a labor union and decided to try and hamper the working of the hospital. So the lawyers advised us that at this time you have no option but to try and take steps by which you don't get blackmailed by any kind of unions. Okay, so we had to lay off almost 50% of our staff and still continue running operations because hospital was busy. So we had to face a lot of negativity, legal hassles from the people whom we had discontinued, and still manage our patients also. So those times were really challenging, especially for a person who's more into academics, more a doctor, has no knowledge of these kind of situations, the legal implications. So it was a jolt to wake up and understand that even if you are paying people, still the laws can be very complicated. Okay, where in spite of paying people, they can hold it still against you and say, "Okay, we want to work in a particular manner only. We don't. Uh, it doesn't matter to us how your hospital does, but the rules which we'll set will be the rules with which you will work," which was very difficult, especially in hospitals, okay, to have inefficient people and people trying to in some way pressurize you, blackmail you. So that was a phase which was very difficult. Then I remember when the first building was done and it was running full, I bought the neighboring plot. So the neighboring plot also we raised a building, and both the buildings had to be connected. So the construction was going on next door. We had to join the buildings, remove one side of the wall of the building to connect both of them. So one part of the hospital was like open to sky, and with full hospital, the patients cooperated. We could join both the buildings together, complete the work with a running hospital going on, with all the noise. All the patients had so much faith in our facility. Okay, so they were ready to undergo that kind of discomfort, but still continue being treating in CritiCare. So these were few of the challenges which stand out. While running any organization, every day comes up with new challenges. As they say, that saying which is there in Africa, when the lion gets up and when the deer gets up, both of them know that they have to run as fast as they can. One to catch the prey, one to avoid being eaten. So likewise, any organization, the moment you wake up, you have to be ready to run because every day are new challenges. You can never be complacent. Okay, you are into service industry. People expect the world from you. So you have to be constantly on your toes, innovative, more and more support.
Yes.
And as your brand rises, the expectation increases manyfold. So to really live
Yes.
is more and more challenging.
And every level teaches you something new, and that's amazing, the obstacles which you overcame, Deepak. And now audience from Australia are listening to you. We have Indian Sun, which is India's largest magazine, which is running in Australia. All the Indians in Australia are hearing to you. So there is not even a single case. I just had a word with them in Sydney. Not even a single case of corona in Melbourne. Of course, there are a few couple of numbers. So in Mumbai, how are you dealing with COVID now? Ignanu Rajesh, our chief mentor of Entrepreneur Excel, has a question for you. He's asking that, Doctor, how do you manage the stress, especially during this current scenario of pandemic? I'm sure you must be flooded with calls and beds and everything. How are you managing the current scenario?
Yeah, see, it's definitely a more high. Definitely, it's a more challenging scenario than rest of the times because of all the information in the media. People have developed a certain pessimism towards the entire situation. Though things are not
Mhm.
as scary as the media tries to portray it. The 95% success rate in treatment. So 95% of us are go back home well. But
Wow. Wow.
the remaining 5% causes a lot of anxiety to people. Everybody starts off thinking, okay, I'm going to be in that 5% who are not going to make it. So it starts off from that level, the panic, the questioning, everything. So it's much more challenging. But I think over the years as a doctor, you have developed that patience. You're always used to people coming very hassled up to you, very emotional, very emotionally charged up, and you know how to gradually calm them down, settle them down. Especially my specialty is in critical care. So majority of the critical patients keep on coming under me. So they are always in that life and death situation, okay, where the relatives around them are absolutely restless. They want quick answers, quick results, and you have to learn to handle all those emotionally charged people. So I think that kind of experience while handling emotionally charged people helped you even more during COVID crisis. The COVID crisis, unlike in Melbourne, are absolutely difficult in Mumbai. We have more than 80,000 cases in Mumbai and they are rising. At the moment, there is no respite. There is a steady rise of around 1,500 new cases every day, but we are not seeing any fall in figures. Gradually, we are seeing an improvement as far as the death rate is concerned, the mortality is concerned, but still, it is the doctors and hospitals on their toes. It's making patients very scared to take medical advice, to go to doctors. They keep on thinking perhaps the hospitals are the main source where infections occur, which is sad to hear because of this they delay their treatment, they delay coming to a doctor. We keep on explaining to them that till now the statistics show the number of healthcare workers affected in hospitals is only around 700 out of a total infected patients of 80,000 plus. So the rest of you
Oh,
are getting infected at home. So it's not okay if you come to the hospital you are getting infected. In fact, in hospitals you are getting treated, you come infected. At times you come critical, and we are the ones treating you and sending you back home. So the earlier you come, the better treatment we will be able to give you. So somewhere in all this pessimism, the wrong message has gone. Rather than coming early to a doctor and being more confident about diagnosing your disease early and taking early treatment, people have been scared by the entire situation. Perhaps the fear of getting quarantined, perhaps the fear of being socially tabooed in some manner is holding them back. But gradually, I see things turning. There's always a silver lining, and people are becoming more and more understanding. And let's hope India and Mumbai is able to fight back the virus the way Australia have been able to.
Yeah, right. So, Deepak, because you have been dealing so much with critical cases, critical patients, do you think that mindset of the relatives, what you were just talking, but because I really wonder, Deepak, how you are always calm and composed, and I can imagine the amount of work you must be doing on yourself to survive in between so many emergencies, so many critical. I can imagine the work you must be doing on yourself to be so calm. But do you think that it affects the psychological pattern of the patients who comes or their relatives? How do you handle all this? Or what suggestion you would like to give to them?
See, what I keep on feeling is one of the biggest defect in our education system today is we have been taught about everything around us except for our own body. So we don't know what to expect from our body. We know we have a liver, but we don't know what all can go wrong with that liver. We don't know what all can go wrong with the kidney. If something goes wrong, how much time does it take for it to get repaired? The anxiety is related to that because you have no knowledge. If your car stalls, you know how much time your car will take to get repaired, but you have no clue about what happens to your body when it gets stalled and what time would the mechanic take to restart your body. So with that, there is a lot of anxiety. There are a lot of yardsticks which are laid down which are non-scientific. So invariably you have people coming to the hospital and saying it's almost 3 days and there is no improvement. So you keep on asking them, who gave you that criteria of 3 days should show improvement? Okay, so they're clueless about it. करके बोला, no, we just thought if since we are paying bills for 3 days, we should get something in return versus whatever payments we have made. Okay, बोला, so this is not a trading relationship which you are having. So you may not get anything for your money back. Okay, but then your body takes its own sweet time to recover. So gradually you have to play a role of a teacher to them apart from being a doctor. Okay, you're doing your job as far as the treatment of the patient is concerned. But today, because of a lot of awareness, and I would say a lot of wrong awareness, doctors have to spend a lot of energy in counseling people, erasing their wrong understanding from various online sites, and getting them into the correct perspective. Okay, so all those things remain a challenge to the medical profession. And the key remains perhaps in strengthening our school education, our college education, okay, where the most important machine of our life, our own body, we need to be taught about so that we have more realistic expectations from our body. We are able to understand what care we need to take of our body. We know our cars better, we know our handphones better, we know all the household equipment better than what we know ourselves. So that is where our education has failed, and that needs to be addressed at a very serious level.
Yes, very true. We have to have more information about our health. And yesterday was Doctor's Day, Doctor. Wish you happy Doctor's Days and even Chartered Accountant Days, which was trying to tell us that health is wealth and both on the same day. So, Doctor, one last question before we sign off is from our WhatsApp head, Vaishali Shah. She's asking, Doctor and an entrepreneur, how does this combination in you defines you differently from your fraternity? How you are different?
I would be different in terms of the times I would be focused on. Today, I am able to understand academics to implement academics. What is the required? How do you get all that infrastructure? How do you still make it viable for everybody concerned? All the people working, it becomes viable for them to carry it out as a profession. For all the end users, the patients, how does it remain viable for them to get that kind of a technology-driven treatment? Okay, so over there, all those thought processes change. Okay, apart from knowing only academics, you come to know what academics is implementable and what academics is not implementable because perhaps the end user may not be able to afford it. So you start thinking more 360 degrees than what you would as only a doctor.
Right, that is so true, Doctor. But what I have found you different as a USP of yours is that every time in all these years I have come to you for any consultation, I have taken a life skill and a lesson. I really wonder that one sentence what you say really makes me think. Like I have so many such sentences and quotes which I remember of yours. So I really think that your counseling skill is the best. That is your USP. That meeting you only start feeling good. So any sign of message you would like to give to all the patients and doctors and all our viewers who are listening to you?
See, the only message I would like to do is all of us are capable. We just need to believe in ourselves. Okay, the humblest beginning you may be having, whatever on a piece of paper, everything may be against you. But if you have the determination, gradually everything can turn onto your side. So you don't have to wait for specific yardsticks to be achieved in life to start get going. It's your call when you start getting to go. People understand that message when you are on the go, and there are many hands which would come forward to help you, would understand your motivation, and you can turn your story into a success story if you have faith in what you are doing.
Wow, that's a wonderful message, Deepak. That's why I see in the lift and everywhere in CritiCare Hospital, your vision statements is so clear, and that's why people follow you, right? So your vision. Thank you so much for your time and your in this time to give us this time and valuable message. Really appreciate your presence, doctor.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. Bye.
Bye.